Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Reinharz, CEO of Artificial Intelligence Technology Solutions. And friends, investors, followers, fans, what do you say on a weekly video when you have your Q coming out, most likely next week? Well, I put some thought into it, and we are going to talk about a lot of stuff operationally happening inside the company that allows you to follow along with our progress as we work to hit positive operational cash flow this year. So, let's talk about it. Keep in mind that for the Q, we will be putting out our highlights press release when the Q launches as well, just to kind of boil down and say, hey, these are some of the markers we find really important. And they're very similar to the things that we've talked about in the past. So you can look forward to that. I'm looking forward to sharing it because I always look forward to disclosure. I want everybody to know what's happening, which is one of the reasons why we put so much time and effort into these weekly videos, as well as all of our investor communication. Okay, so next week we know is going to be action-packed with filings, the Q, and so forth. But this week has been action-packed as well. I had 2 great days. I mean, I've got a lot of great days, really, these days with AITX in terms of sales and progress and receivables, all those core things that you need in order to build a business. But this week in particular, coming back into 2024, I had 2 specifically great days. My days are usually packed back to back with meetings all day. And 2 particular days I want to mention because it kind of moved from some of the lull of December. Now, real quick, if you hear some clacking or some chewing, I have one of my dogs in the office here with me. Here's a picture of her. She's the best. That's Favor. So just excuse any clicking that you might hear. But in the meantime, let's talk about the 2 days. And, both of these things, I'm mentioning things that I think are significant. And both of these days had meetings populated by people other than me. Usually I'm out there pushing, driving, grinding away. And these days were notable because people came to me, said, Steve, let's get this moving. Let's get this going. Where are we at? Boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, okay, great. So I want to share with you some of the highlights of these 2 days because they become the building blocks that we build on and have real financial success and progress from. So let's start. Number 1, we mentioned last year that RadG was going to OEM the Rad Pack. And I don't know if I'd mentioned that I had 2 people in play, 2 e-phone makers in play, but great connection with one of them yesterday. Drafting up the MOU. That should be interesting to see what happens there. So that was great. They're like, Steve, where are we at? Let's get this going. I was like, hey, I'm here. Let's move. So that was awesome. Next thing was Rio Gen 4 and our R&D team in Canada, just pushing that forward. We had a great meeting with great input, a very short list of changes from production and changes from operations and some changes from aesthetics or industrial design. So that was really great. Rio Gen 4 on track, so important for us. NVIDIA, I was inspired by NVIDIA. I was a contractor for NVIDIA before I opened up Rad. And the NVIDIA guys were both still there who remember the moment of when they were showing me this handheld early Jetson with a battery and a screen and a camera. And they were doing human detection, through their office. It was amazing. And that was my eureka moment. I said, I am building a robot company for security. So that connection keeps on getting stronger. They want to support us on more of our analytics and more of our autonomy side. So I loved that. That was a great call yesterday or the day before. It's Friday about noon right now as I record this. Progress in healthcare. Now we have an open sales slot for an experienced healthcare salesperson, and we haven't filled it yet. I'm very, very careful on it. Made progress this week on content creation with this significant influencer, or someone who I think is a significant influencer on the tech side. I'm fascinated to see what content he's going to create and how it's going to spread the word of RAD at AITX. So I'm very excited about that, which is why I keep mentioning it. It could go great. It could flop. I don't know. We don't know. We try things. Thanks for cutting that coughing out, Doug. Still recovering from that flu in December that killed me almost. We have happy to announce that we're going to have another implementation engineer join our team. Really exciting. Another person with tremendous potential and in the right place in the right company. So that's a big deal for us. That happened this week as well. We're opening up another sales slot for a junior salesperson. This person, somebody with 2 to 4 years sales experience working for one of the big companies. Doesn't have to be in security, but I want somebody who's got formal training from, say, an Oracle. You went through Oracle sales program or Siemens sales program. One of the big Fortune 100 companies sales programs, 2 to 4 years, hey, you're generally ready for a change, and sometimes it's tough to move up in those organizations in that time frame. I want to pick up a younger person from that, or person with 2 to 4 years experience from that. So that'll be fun. We had a new mechanical engineer start on Monday, a replacement for a previous engineer, which was great. And, on the sales side, there's just a ton of exciting projects. This week was big for exciting projects. One of them was the bank that we did a press release on. So it's got a lot of legs, but then, sales, Troy says to me, Stevie's I don't know what's going on, but just the funnel is getting full of banks doing stuff. So that's great. We're not able to name this bank, and they're very, very sensitive to it. So that hurts a little bit. And I got to tell you, just from a personal standpoint, we've all had dealings with banks, and taking banking money it's among the sweetest money that we can earn and make. So that is very fun. Okay, I went over a couple of things from my week, AKA our company's week, and there's so much more that I could share, but we're going to hold it at that. It looks like there's weather rolling in this weekend, everybody, so I hope that you're safe and prepared, and let's look forward to a great week. Thanks, everybody.